Good evening. London Bridge remains blocked to traffic tonight as Extinction Rebellion protests continue. Activists parked a bus across a junction at lunchtime, stopping any cars, cabs or buses from crossing one of London's main bridges. Yesterday, they targeted Tower Bridge. Police once again formed a ring of steel around the protesters and in the last hour have been removing them from the parked bus. This is London Bridge now. You can see the bus still parked across the junction, meaning there is no access to traffic across the bridge. Well, Sam Holder has been following the protests today.
They've used a big pink boat before, but this time it was an antique green bus. Extinction Rebellion once again bringing parts of central London to a standstill. This was an hour into the protest.
The junction here on Borough High Street is completely blocked, cutting off access to 3 different roads. No cars in or out. And on London Bridge, a long queue of buses.
Police attempted to remove those on board as quickly as possible. Protesters at the scene who gave me this footage said they believed the police were too forceful. The police told us specially trained officers were working to safely remove those on board. A window was broken, apparently during the scuffle. One protester glued themselves to a different one. I spoke to Ash, who was on the roof, at this point for more than an hour. He told me he was worried about what would happen when the police decided to get him down. Others at the protest defended the disruption.
How do we get that message across to people so when you're desperate, you take desperate measures and just hopefully people question why on earth are we doing this? Why are we causing this chaos? Because we need people to listen.
It's been a battle of wits between police and protesters over the past 9 days. Round Borough High Street, clearly going to the protesters. But over the bank holiday, the police seemed a step ahead, managing to bring down this blockade before it was even up. Earlier today, there was a pram protest in Westminster, highlighting the risk climate change is posing to children. For some, the emotion was overwhelming.
It makes me really cross, because I don't know what kind of future my son will have.
Are you sad?
I am sad, darling.
Why are you sad?
Because the people in charge aren't doing anything.
As they marched to Downing Street, there was a brief attempt by protesters to lock together. Again, the police too quick.
Keep calm.
Tactics all too familiar in the 3rd year of XR protests. But a dozen pram pushers blocking one lane outside Downing Street, relaxed enough to take a spot of lunch, is nowhere near as disruptive as a bus blocking a major bridge. This afternoon, the arrests began. A police Section 14 order is in place, demanding protesters leave the area. Although most have left the bus, after more than 4 hours, it is still there on Borough High Street, with Ash still on top. Sam Holder, ITV News.